You know what I'm in the mood for? A video that's a complete and utter construct straw man that poisons the well and is sure to make me completely and utterly irritated. Hey, look! I found a video like that! Here I go!
Why do atheists impose their beliefs? I mean, I find it illogical to believe that nothing can create something.
Atheists impose their non beliefs on other people for the same reason that anybody imposes their belief or non belief on anyone else. A variety of reasons, in fact. Because we think it's true, because, I don't know, we want to stop people from making up religions and telling women that they have to cover their face and, justifying killings if you leave the religion and stuff like that. All that bad sort of negative stuff. We want to get rid of all that. And by and large, religions can do a lot of bad. And the little bit of good that they can do is better done by secular sources, I think. But as far as the whole tangent into nothingness and all that nonsense, no atheist has ever said that. At all. It's not been done. We do not say collectively where or how the universe came to be. That's up to science, not up to atheism. Atheism isn't a worldview, it's not a religion. We don't make any claims regarding knowing where everything came from, and saying that it's not God doesn't make it nothing. Continue with your straw man, please, by all means.
I find it illogical to believe that order can come out of disorder.
The idea that chaos or disorder will get into order is actually very logical, and all you need is a filtering mechanism. So let's say you have a large mountain with some snow on it, and it gets rather warm, the snow melts, and you have a disorder of all this water rushing down to the valley below. Now, as that water descends, it's going to be quite chaotic the first time around. But there's going to be big rocks and little rocks and dirt that's knocked aside by the rushing water. And wherever the water happens to hit the most will be like this little tiny groove made. And then the next time that the snow melts and the water rushes down, that groove is going to deepen and widen and deepen and widen until eventually you have a stream. And so you get order from the disorder. Anytime you apply any sort of filtering mechanism to chaos, you get order from that chaos. Just because of the nature of a filtering mechanism. But that's, science, and you're not interested in that, are you?
I also find it difficult to believe that intelligence can come from non-intelligence.
Yeah, again, appeal to personal incredulity. Just because you don't believe it doesn't make it not true. It is true that intelligence came from non-intelligence, if you go back far enough. Like, at some point, we didn't have the sort of intelligence that we do today. So now you're just going after, I guess, evolution here. But not understanding how we got to where we are today isn't an argument for God or against atheism. It's just an argument of ignorance.
I also find it illogical to believe that life can come from non-life.
And that's because you don't understand science. So we're all made up of different various chemicals, and if you break those down into their component parts, you'd have just a large lump of different various chemicals sitting where a human once sat. Also, if you look at the thing that you might have heard of called DNA, that's just a bunch of different chemical bonds sticking to each other, basically, and that's what makes us. So, yeah, chemicals aren't alive, and given the right conditions, they will attach to each other in different neat various ways, and they'll form things, and then those things will begin to move about, and at some point we call it alive. And it's not this like on off switch, it's more like a dimmer switch. So it's hard to pin down when it wasn't alive to when it was alive. But again, you'd have to understand science to understand any of that, and that's something that you clearly have no idea about at all. And so remaining ignorant of these things still is not an argument for God or against atheism.
And so the question is, why do atheists want to impose this sort of illogical thinking on people?
Actually, it's you that's imposing illogical beliefs upon people. A misguided and sloppy idea about anti-evolution, anti-cosmology, and anti-science, as if any of those things have to do with atheism at all. I don't disbelieve in God because evolution is true. I don't disbelieve in God because of cosmology. Those are things that I accept because I care about science, and I've done enough research to satisfy my curiosity in the regards to make sure that, yes, these things are really true. But you don't care about that. What you care about is constructing a straw man and pretending like atheists are imposing these beliefs on people. Well, atheists by and large tend to be pretty darn scientific. Maybe because we don't have to worry about our ideas of science negating our false ideas of God like you do. But what do I know? I don't pray towards a giant cube that's black that's somewhere in the desert like certain people do, whose name shall not be Muslims mentioned. I mentioned their name. Oops. I was stupid. Moving on.
The truth is this: evolution isn't a belief system that is based on evidence.
Well, now you're just lying. Now you're just lying. Just straight up lying. You don't know anything about evolution or science at all. Period. End of story. I would dare say you don't know how many planets there are in the solar system, if the Earth goes around the sun or vice versa, what the orbit is like, how long it takes for the Earth to go around the sun, or for how long it takes for the Earth to spin. Now, you wouldn't know any of that, I don't think. I don't even think you would know what vinegar and baking soda does if you mix them together. That's how ignorant I think that you are about science. You know what the word is, but that's about it. And you sit there with your glasses that are made by science in front of a camera made by science, putting into a computer, video editing software, and the internet, all made by science, and you dare say, well, evolution's not true. Stupid, idiotic, moronic person. How dare you? Your beliefs are left behind in the Bronze Age where they belong, and you're dragging us down with your complete and utter lies.
Nobody has ever seen evolution. Nobody has ever observed evolution.
Okay, once again, you're a complete and total moron. Actually, yes, people have observed it, but what do you care? And I guess that means that your stupid little holy book is completely false because nobody's ever observed it. It's just, well, but there's eyewitnesses. No, there was one guy that said it happened. That's what happened. Is one guy said it was true, and you fell for it. Your ancestors fell for it, and then they told the story to other people, and eventually you came along and you fell for the same story. A guy riding a horse into the sky. Yeah, that sounds plausible to me. But evolution? No, I don't understand it. No, I'm done with this video. I was gonna have fun making fun of him for making fun of atheists, but I can't do that because he's just so unscientific that it's just a waste of space. I mourn the brain that could have gone to use that's in his head. R.I.P. a good potential intellect. And people wonder why the Arabic world is just gone to hell. It's because of this religion that backwards warped them into oblivion. But at least America, oh no, America is still second from the bottom in acceptance of biological evolution. Well, I guess we know where we're headed. So after looking again at the video and going to the website, I realized he's not an Islam and or Muslim guy. And so a lot of my complaints and grumbles are completely irrelevant. So just pretend I was grumbling at Christianity the whole time. I forgot that Christians can be this stupid too. I thought that this was a Muslim video. Cause like, they're this bad usually, right? Like, they're this bad. Like, I expect them to be anti-evolution and to have an accent like this guy. Like, so is it racist? Cause I thought he was Islam? I don't know. Oh well. Doesn't negate the other parts of my argument though.